Hi there, this is part 6 of my recent transmission. Angels on Earth, your time has come. Illuminati's Last Stand, March Equinox 2017. So I'm now going to go through the analysis of the next piece. And I'm just looking how long this is. I should be able to get through the rest of this transmission, hopefully. So the very last piece that I went through was, this would be checkmate for them, if you will, within the cosmic chess game. So the last one was the cosmic chess game. Therefore, by their own construct, these laws cannot be broken. They have checkmated themselves. So I talked about that in part 5. So the next piece is, as the service to others have weathered the storm, so to speak, in allowing negativity for so long, now is the time for the service to self groups to admit defeat, if you will, bow their heads and step out of the game. So the 9 are saying here that the service to others energy, and within that we would be looking at aware individuals within this reality, but we are looking at much more than just here on Earth and within the 3rd dimension. We're looking in other dimensions and other planets. We're looking at the service to others groups. So individuals incarnated on Earth and the overseers for this planet, for Earth. These service to others individuals have weathered the storm in allowing negativity for so long. Why? Why have they allowed negativity so long? Well, this is to do with polarity and the fact that the majority of the individuals on planet Earth needed to experience the intense polarity. And yet, from a linear point of view, from a 3rd dimensional point of view, there was infiltration that the service to others groups could do nothing about, if you like, due to free will law, or rather, not that they couldn't do anything about it, but that they had to wait to be able to do something about it on a linear level, because they sent aspects of themselves within these other planetary systems and other dimensions into this reality so that it would be done from the human level. So that's the star seeds. The star seeds came in. So the service to others overseers have weathered the storm in allowing negativity for so long. They allowed it to play out. From our point of view, from the aware individuals here on this planet, they also have weathered the storm. They haven't necessarily allowed negativity for so long from their point of view, the incarnated aware individuals. But again, they've been in a position where there haven't been enough individuals or enough awareness within humanity to be able to do anything about it. And of course, this has now changed. That's what this whole transmission is about. Around the March equinox, the critical mass point for that, this has now changed. Now something is being done. It's happening. So now is the time for the service to self groups to admit defeat, if you will. Bow their heads and step out of the game in a nice way. Very much, okay, you know, we've played the game and we admit defeat. We have lost this game, if you like, metaphorically, and it's time to step out and allow the service to others, individuals and structures to step forward and flourish and raise polarity. And so too are there those within service to self groups who do just that. So the 9 are saying here that there are individuals within the service to self groups, and I know that this is referring to service to self individuals here on planet Earth and beyond planet Earth and in other planetary systems, but on planet Earth specifically, they are doing this. They have admitted defeat. They're looking around and thinking it's not going to work anymore. It's too late. We've been seen. It's time for us to move away from this. And in fact, I will go so far as to say that there are individuals who have been within a service to self construct. They themselves have been controlled. They are now moving away from this and are looking into and embracing a service to others reality. So too are there those within service to self groups who do just that. Yet there are others who whilst they have no choice to abide by the law, one cannot influence, harm, change, or attempt to control an angel on earth. They have no intention of bowing out gracefully and leaving the game. So these are a different group of individuals. So within the service to self structure, we've got completely different perspectives and ways of thinking within that structure. So it isn't this whole unified, strong structure of everyone feeling the same way at all. It may have been in the past because that's what was serving them, but not anymore. Not now that everything has changed so much. The starseed revolution is now here. It isn't something that's going to happen in 5 years or 10 years or 50 years. It's here right now. And these service to self individuals that have grown up or have existed within that structure are aware of this. So some of them are bowing out. They are saying, no more. It's time to give up the ghost really here. And others, whilst they will abide by this, one cannot influence, harm, change, or attempt to control an angel on earth, and they have no choice but to abide by this because it's a construct of their own making. Therefore, by their own construct, these laws cannot be broken. They have checkmated themselves. They still have no intention of bowing out gracefully and leaving the game. No. They're hanging on in there despite the fact that they have to abide by that law. They hold on until the very last stand, if you will. One would do well to understand the meaning of the last stand, for this fully explains this current service to self energetic. So they are holding on until the last stand. And the last stand is a term used in battle whereby one side within that battle is losing. And so they make one last certified attempt to win. And they pull out all the stops at the last minute. So their last stand is going to be their final trump card, if you like. It is their free will and choice to do this. They will attempt all strategic measure they can, for indeed these strategies have worked time and time again in the past. The beacon of frustration they broadcast is so loud that all starseeds, light workers, aware ones, and sensitives hear their frustration energy broadcasts, which could be translated to cries of, why, oh, why is this no longer working? Let us try this. Let us try that. So it's their free will and choice to do this. They have free will to choose to leave the service to self groups and get out and move into a service to others polarization. And some of them have done this. And how they're doing this is by assisting, by joining this alliance of light and assisting them. Even though they've been from a service to self structure, they are making amends, I guess, because A, they know that everything has changed, and B, it may be that they never felt right in that service to self structure in the first place, or they may have felt right in that service to self structure and been rewarded from it. Up until recently, there's no longer a reward, or they've discovered the control for themselves, or they may have been through traumas, uncovered memories. They may not even have been aware that they were being controlled. So there's so many different reasons why an individual would leave that structure. It's their free will choice. It's their free will and choice to do this. And it's also their free will and choice to choose to stay looking into that last stand and having no intention of bowing out gracefully and leaving the game, and still trying to carry on and use the same strategies that they've used for thousands of years. It's their free will and choice to do this. They will attempt all strategic measure they can. So they are doing this. The nine are saying they will and are doing this. For indeed, these strategies have worked time and time again in the past. So the strategies that they have used for thousands of years, they're still using these strategies, controlling the false narrative, the false reality, all the things that I've spoken about. The beacon of frustration they broadcast is so loud that all starseeds, light workers, aware ones, and sensitives hear their frustration energy broadcasts. So a beacon of frustration they broadcast is so loud. So if you're a telepathic, sensitive, clairvoyant, sensing energy, clairvoyant, clairsentience, whichever way you want to look at it, there is this frustration coming from them. And when you sense an energy from a group that's very, very strong, it can feel like a sound. I know that sounds a bit crazy, but to a sensitive, it feels like a sound. And it's if you tune in on it energetically, it's quite uncomfortable, if not painful. It doesn't actually cause you pain, but energetically it is the nearest way to explain it is energetic pain if you tune in on that, because it's so loud. So it's like a sound. It's like this loud sound of frustration. And light workers, all starseeds, light workers, aware ones and sensitive. So they're saying all the starseeds can feel this one way or another. They can hear this loud broadcast of frustration from these service to self individuals who are in a situation where the strategies they've used for thousands and thousands of years are not working anymore. No longer are they not working, they're backfiring on them. So they're very frustrated, and they don't understand why, despite the fact that they were told that there would be a starseed revolution around the year 2012, blah, blah, blah. The beacon of frustration they broadcast is so loud that all starseeds, light workers, aware ones and sensitives hear their frustration energy broadcasts, which could be translated to. So this frustration energy broadcast, this loud sound of frustration, if you were to translate that into words, this is a collective cry of frustration. If you were to translate that into words, it would be why? Oh, why is this no longer working? Let us try this, let us try that. So the strategy they've used before that's been so easy for them, it's always worked. Everyone's fallen for the false narrative. The false narrative, the false matrix has been all-encompassing, and the entrapment has been working. The slaves and the prisoners have not realized that they were enslaved and in prison. Therefore, the prison works perfectly. All that has changed. We're at critical mass now. The amount of people who are aware that there's a prison and that they've been enslaved. And the minute they're aware, that prison doesn't work anymore. That enslavement doesn't work anymore. Once it's seen, once it's observed, it changes structure. So let us try this. So they try something else. Doesn't work. Backfires on them. Let us try that. Doesn't work. Backfires on them. So they're in the last stand. Now this was brought forward around the March Equinox. So we're now May the 3rd today. So we are looking at this last stand playing out now and in the next coming months. So we've got this really intense polarization when it comes to awareness, as in these individuals that are in the service to self groups that are creating this last stand, trying all these different strategies in there, giving it their all. So we're going to have a lot of sort of chaos, what looks like, oh my goodness, it's one thing after another. This is going wrong, and that's going wrong, and this is going wrong, and we've got this issue in this country, and this issue in that country, and this issue over here and over there. But then we've got these aware individuals who've moved out of this false matrix, who are looking back and seeing this play out, and they've already exited the matrix, become sovereign with their own matrix, become aware of the false narrative, the false reality, the false construct, created the organic natural construct for themselves and become sovereign. And those individuals they'll be observing all this play out, but their own reality will be very different. And the Nine explained this very much to me about it's not so much that we're on different planets or in different dimensions, which we actually are, between the individuals who are still in the false narrative, the false matrix, and those who are out of that false matrix or have changed that matrix. It's not so much that we're in different dimensions or different planets. That's one metaphor. But what the Nine is saying to me is that we're in different time periods. We have moved into the future. The individuals who are aware of this false matrix and have taken steps to become sovereign are in a different timeline, a different time period. Even though we're all in the year 2017 on the same date at the same time, energetically, the individuals still unaware of the false matrix are in the past And we've stepped into the future, if you like. So our present, they're in the past, and quite a lot in the past, because we've moved to another dimension, and dimensions are linearly translated to time periods. So the fourth dimension would be a different time period to the third. The fifth dimension would be a different time period to the third. The fourth is somewhat different, but the fifth is in the future to the third dimension. The 12th dimension is way in the future. It's light years in the future to the third dimension. So the individuals who have moved away from that false matrix have moved into the higher echelons of the fourth and into the fifth, and potentially the higher echelons of the sixth dimension, as they create their own sovereignty and work with their traumas and concentrate on the macrocosmic element of reality as self, broadcasting this service to others' energy from themselves. Those individuals are fifth dimensional individuals, and if they're fifth dimensional individuals, then they're in the future from the third dimensional perspective. And those fifth dimensional individuals are still living within the third dimension, so they're embracing multi-dimensions simultaneously. So going back to this transmission, why is this no longer working? Let us try this, let us try that. And yet they were told oh so long ago that this time would come. Now they experience the same denial of reality they presented to you when you were third dimensional beings. So the nine is speaking to the star seeds, saying, you were third dimensional beings. You are no longer third dimensional beings. You are fifth dimensional beings. You are multi-dimensional beings. And they created this false matrix, this false reality, and you experienced a denial of that false reality. You denied the true reality and embraced the false reality. Many of the star seeds never really did in this reality, to be quite honest. They came in as children, fully aware of the matrix. Others woke up later in their reality. But what the nine is saying here is, these service to self individuals are now experiencing the same denial of reality that they presented to you when you were third dimensional beings, as in the past. So the third dimensional beings that are unaware of this false matrix are in denial of their reality, consciously or unconsciously. It's mostly unconscious. To some, it's actually conscious. To some, they're aware of this, conspiracy theory that we're in a matrix, and they dismiss it. So that's a conscious denial of reality. The service to self individuals are now experiencing a denial of reality. And that denial goes something like this. How can this not be working anymore? Why are our strategies not working? We need to try harder. We need to do more. And we are frustrated. There's a denial of reality because the reality's been presented to them oh so long ago, whatever that means. So obviously they've known for quite some time that this time would come. The starseed revolution, the indigo revolution, indigo rising, the starseed awakening, the starseeds are coming, the return of the shining ones, whatever you want to call it, they knew. I mean, if we go back to the Bible and we're talking about the second coming of Jesus Christ, that in itself is a prophecy for this time. The second coming of Jesus Christ is the starseed revolution. So perhaps when the nine say they were told oh so long ago, they could be referring to that. The second coming of Christ, Jesus Christ would return. Well, Jesus Christ, the Christ consciousness, has returned within starseeds, light workers, aware ones, sensitives, nice people who are polarized and on the journey towards polarization of service to others. Now, with the polarization of service to others en masse, including these key figures in predominantly service to self structures, we can truly say that graduation is taking place. So we've had polarization into a service to others frequency en masse, and it reached critical mass on the March equinox this year. including key figures in predominantly service to self structures. So we've talked about the government, the Secret Service structures, and the military. So including those structures that were specifically mentioned by the 9, we have polarization of service to others en masse. We can truly say the graduation is taking place. So the 9 talk about graduation, meaning graduating from one level into another. So they use graduation if you go through a university here in the United Kingdom, or I believe it's college in America is the same age group. When they receive their degree or diploma or certification, they graduate. And when they graduate, they leave that institution that they have been educated in and move into the next stage of their life. They become a postgraduate. That's what they're called here in the UK anyway. So they're using that as a metaphor. That's what's happening. Certainly with the starseeds, but this energy is sort of carrying through the whole of the planet. There's a graduation occurring planetary wide, regardless of how the individual is seeing that. Certainly the starseeds are in that sort of state of graduation. In fact, if anything, you could say the starseeds, the minute they receive their diploma or their degree, then they then hand the diplomas and the degrees out to everyone else. That's kind of the metaphor you would use. So the graduation is taking place, and that just means moving from one level that's been a settled level, or it's been a long-term level, into the next level. So the graduation is the shift between, either we could look at the perspective of this being moving from the 3rd dimension through the 4th dimension into the 5th dimension, or we could look, that would be more of a consciousness reflection. That would be the manifestation of the consciousness that on a critical mass level, the global consciousness, or on a more geological level, actually the matter of the planet. We could say we're moving from 3rd density to 4th density. So it's a flip, one graduation up. That's a different metaphor coming from a different perspective. I guess you could say one's a spiritual perspective and one's a scientific one. I suppose that would fit. One may call this ascension. One may call this mass enlightenment. One may call this the event, or the end of days, or purge, harvest, graduation, 4th density shift, 5th dimension, new earth, new world, new timeline, utopia, nirvana, golden age, free world, or going galactic. Whichever label you give to this time, they all fit. We would say to you, the time is now. So all these words that you're hearing across the light worker community, new age community, new thinkers, the truth movement, some of the scientific, the new physicists, we've got all these different terms for this time period, and all of those fit. So the 9 would say, we would say to you, the time is now. So if you've been waiting for the event, the end of days, the purge, the harvest, the ascension, 4th density shift, going galactic, it's now, it's now. The March Equinox 2017 marks the very crux of this shift, evident for all to see, feel, hear, and experience. Even those sleeping soundly within the 3rd dimensional state will be touched by this. So the March Equinox 2017 marks the very crux of this shift, simply because we've reached critical mass when it comes to the awareness of the false matrix and the fact that polarity is raising from this intense polarity into this lighter polarity. The crux of the shift was the 21st of December 2012, when it comes to the sort of end of these many cycles that moved us into this time, and that created a stargate for manifestation. So around the 21st of December 2012, we would have had many starseeds en masse creating the world that they wanted. They would have been thinking about ascension, graduation, 4th density, the golden age, the new world. going galactic, the new Earth. They would have been thinking about these constructs that they wanted to see occur within their reality around that time. And then the manifestation of that is occurring within these sort of 4-year jumps. So we're now in the March Equinox 2017, which is the absolute manifestation, because critical mass of that awareness has been reached. Even those sleeping soundly within the third dimensional state will be touched by this. So they're saying that everyone is touched in some way. Everyone, even those that are firmly entrenched within that false matrix, are touched in some way by this. Now, Rainbow Warriors, reality architects, and indeed angels on earth, your time has come. We are the white-winged collective consciousness of 9. So they address you, Rainbow Warriors. Take that label, you know, that's you. Reality architects. You are the architect of your reality. You created this reality, and now you're aware of creating this reality, and you're creating this reality from a conscious level within the third dimension. You are a reality architect. And indeed, angels on earth. You're angels on earth because of your polarization. Your time has come. So this is a positive, uplifting message, even though we are told within this message what's going on within the service to self groups and the last stand, and the fact that some of them won't give up, and that there's, you know, they're going to try these different strategies, and so we may see what appears to be chaos in front of us in a way that's never really been shown before. Ultimately, when you look at the bigger picture, this is a very, very positive message. So I'm very pleased to have been able to bring this transmission through for you, and to be able to analyze this as well. As I said before, my analysis of this is something that helps me with my own learning, and I'm glad to be by your side as one of the team of light, if you like. Not as your teacher, simply as a messenger, but standing by your side as you go through this, and knowing that you are all my teachers too. And that's very, very true. I get comments that teach me so much, comments on the YouTube channel, looking at perspectives I may not have thought of, and I get emails from people who share what they're doing, and their own perspectives. And I've had some emails from some amazing people, some fantastic light workers, grid workers, starseeds and reality architects who have been working so hard in this field. So thank you very much for taking the time to listen. Love you all. And that's the end of this analysis for this transmission, Angels on Earth. And have a lovely day. Bye. What is the Matrix? Who are the Masters? I, Magenta Pixie, am so very pleased to present my first book, channeled from my guidance system that I refer to as the White-Winged Collective Consciousness of 9. Discover the true story of our origins as an energy system, how we lost the original template for our destiny, and how we are now in the process of remembering those lost codes. Learn how humanity may reclaim the sovereignty which is rightfully ours, bringing us back into wholeness, integration, and full understanding of who we are, why we are here, and what we are here to do. Spirituality, metaphysics, and science merge as the sacred geometry, known as the language of light, is downloaded and decoded. The realization and activation of these ancient codes for a new dawn of man is an alchemical process available to us all. Now is the time that collectively we move forward into a fully conscious ascension and embrace the new archetype of Master of the Matrix.